Several people around me have recently found themselves suffering from gout, so I wanted to have gout explained and find out more about gouty arthritis. Gout affects a small percentage of the population and it affects men 3 times more than women, and the likelihood of getting gout increases with age. You can get gout in the knee, gout in the foot, and gout in your hands. And if you're someone suffering from gout, please stay tuned. And if you know someone who suffers from gout, you may also want to share the video with them too. Health Explorer Neil Fellows here, and if you want to get healthy and fit and stay healthy and fit and do it in a way that's unique and natural to you, please subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of all of our latest interviews and reviews. Today I'm joined by nutrition and lifestyle coach Dr. Chris Pickard for Gout Explained. What is gout?
What is gout? Well, gout is a form of arthritis. And arthritis is basically anything where you have an inflamed joint. But there are lots of kinds of arthritis. There's degenerative arthritis, which is from wear and tear. There's rheumatoid arthritis, where your body is actually attacking itself. And then there are a number of other inflammatory conditions that are lumped under the arthritis banner. And one of them is gout. And gout is often thought to be basically down to what you're eating and your genetics. And some people can eat terribly and not get gouty arthritis, and some people can, they have to eat really, really well, or they do suffer terrible, terrible gout, which is basically characterized by really, really painful joint. Usually it's one of the toes. Yeah. But it can be ankles, knees, wrists, thumbs, but most people it's the toes. And it's very, very acutely painful, like you're being stabbed in the toe. It gets very red, very hot, very debilitating pain when you do get it.
So what causes gout?
Well, it's called the actual thing that causes the pain is the formation of what are called monosodium, monosodium urate crystals. Can never remember sometimes. It's often linked to uric acid. Now, uric acid is the acid that's found in your blood, and we excrete it in our urine. But the uric acid can form these crystals, and these crystals, and they get called uric acid crystals, but they're not. They're actually monosodium urate crystals. Are really like needle-like, and then if they accumulate in a joint, and form in a joint, then really need and they basically it's like pins being pushed onto the inside of the joint surface. And so that's what's the actual cause of gout, basically the mass formation of monosodium urate.
Okay, so in your view, talking about types of food, it's because like food can trigger, I guess, gout if we eat the wrong types. Mm-hmm. And I know it's often been linked to something like red meat. Mm-hmm. In your opinion, if someone's suffering from gout, what's the kind of maximum level of something like red meat that someone should be eating?
This is where, again, when you look up gout, it says, what is gout? It basically says it's uric acid, and there's a number of reasons why uric acid goes high. And they say, well, it's a breakdown product of something called purines. And purines are the things that we need to make things like DNA and RNA. Without purines, we'd be dead. Okay, and you find purines naturally in animal products because they have DNA. But purines you find a lot in nature. They're one of the most commonly found nitrogen-based chemicals in nature. But purines, so you find a lot of them in red meats and dark meats, very rich foods. But purines aren't the only thing that break down into uric acid. Uric acid is also produced when you have too much fructose. And so when people say fructose, they immediately think fruit sugar. But you make fruit sugar, you make fructose when you eat too much carbohydrate. Right. So it's not really just about how much meat you're eating that's the problem. It's, well, how much carbohydrate you're eating, because once you've eaten a certain amount of carbohydrate, your body can't actually convert and use that glucose anymore. So if you're eating a really big carbohydrate meal, your body can't use all that glucose. So things back up and it starts making fructose in a way, which it's a really complex system. But basically, if you eat too much carbohydrate, you're going to have fructose. So your fructose, that can turn into uric acid. If you're eating lots of meat, that can turn into uric acid as well. So it's not really just about how much meat you're eating, it's well, how much other stuff you're eating that can turn into uric acid.
Okay.
So yeah, often they just say, just focus on the meat, but we need protein, we need all these other things. What most people are doing is they're having fruit juices, which are full of fructose. They're eating biscuits and cakes that have got high fructose corn syrup in. And so it's could actually be much more of an important thing to decrease the amount of junk foods, junk fruit, fructose, fruit juices, fructose containing baked goods, lots of carbohydrates. Because I have patients that their gout stops when they don't stop eating meat, but when they stop having too much bread and pasta.
Interesting.
So
yeah,
that's one thing. So with red meat, it really depends on everything else you're doing as well. So yeah, you could limit red meat, or you could actually be sensible and eat really high quality meats and just get rid of all the other stuff that's not doing you any good because it's just energy.
Sure. So we're having gout explained, and I'm talking with nutrition and lifestyle coach Dr. Chris Pickard. If this video is helpful for you, please do give us a thumbs up, because that really does help the channel. Chris, what can we do to prevent gout? I know we've talked a little bit about food. There may be more on that, or there may be other things that we could do. Could you explain that for us?
Yeah, certainly. Well, you see, this is something, again, that most people don't realize about uric acid. Is uric acid in the body is also a very potent, or actually that's not quite the right word. It's the most ubiquitous, it's the most common and water-soluble antioxidant in the body. Uric acid is used in the body as an antioxidant, so it's an anti-rust agent that's soluble in water. And so your body will possibly be making more uric acid because there's a lot of oxidative stress on your body for whatever reason, and maybe you've not got enough antioxidants in your diet, water-soluble ones like vitamin C.
Yeah.
So maybe it's because you haven't got a diet rich in all of the things that are actually naturally antioxidants. So maybe you're eating carbohydrates and meat, but you're not eating any spices, you're not eating any berries, you're not eating any things that can actually help your body stop rusting. And so your body's making too much uric acid for itself. But you combine this with the fact that uric acid doesn't just turn into salt. It's like it's the sea. The sea isn't just salt. The salt is suspended in a solution and it's fine in seawater. But when it dries out and gets too hot, it dehydrates and you end up with salt on the beach, or salt on your skin if you're really hot and sweaty and you've been to the Grand Canyon and tried to go too far down it and up again in one day, like I have. And then salt all over my face. I was fine, just like, oh my God. But so dehydration is another key thing with gout. Is it not necessarily how much uric acid, it's, well, how much water have you got to keep the uric acid in solution so it doesn't turn into salt, basically, that then spikes your joints. So the things that I really recommend people to do to prevent gout are look at all your sort of junk food that could contain high fructose corn syrup. But how are you overweight? Are you eating too many calories per meal? Look at decreasing the amount of calories and carbohydrates. Yeah, if you're eating nothing but meat, maybe you want to actually add some fruits and vegetables in there. So fruits and lots more vegetables is very important. And fiber, because the more fiber you have, the more stuff that you're eating is going to be pulled through. It decreases inflammation in the gut, and if you're eating more fiber naturally, you're going to have less of all the other stuff. You're going to have less fructose, you're going to have less glucose that turns into fructose, you're going to have less meat because you've got more fiber. But there are some specific foods that can really help, and the number one is cherries.
Okay.
Cherries is one of the number one things that everyone with gout seems to know about, and it's true that eating cherries can help decrease gout because they have some stuff in them that helps decrease the uric acid buildup.
Cool. Okay, so cherries are the thing. We've done another video on dehydration. You mentioned the importance of hydration. So what I'll do is I'll add a link into the description of the video so you can go and have a look at that video.
Yeah,
you also mentioned oxidative stress, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
And just come back to that a little bit. What causes oxidative stress?
Being dehydrated can be one of them, because it's a form of stress on our body.
Right. Okay.
Eating too many carbohydrates can form. Eating the wrong kinds of fats can cause oxidative stress. Having nutritional deficiencies can cause oxidative stress. I mean, it's one of the things that actually happens naturally in our body, and it's actually really important that we do have little bits of it happening. But when it goes too far, it's usually because of, and again, exercise. Whenever we exercise lots, that creates oxidative stress on our body as well. Pollution causes oxidative stress on our body. Mental stress, emotional stress, accidents, injuries, everything that life throws at us in some way rusts us. Yeah. So that's why it's so important that we do so many things, like have a really good diet and supplement with some things as well, to make sure that we've got enough natural antioxidants working in the right way as well.
Sure. Are there any specific supplements that could help people reduce gout or keep it at bay and not have it at all, actually, for people who are regular sufferers of it?
Yeah, well, the first thing is to look to your diet, first of all, to make sure you're not just overloading with, I think the main thing, really, it's fructose, I think, and everything that turns to fructose. So look at your diet first, obviously, but supplement-wise, you can actually get cherry in supplement form, and there's one actually just called Cherry Active. And Cherry Active both comes in a pill, but it also comes in a concentrated cherry flavor as well, which is great on hot sunny days. Ice, water, Cherry Active, really good drink. But also I'd suggest maybe if you are prone to gout, look at maybe taking an antioxidant. So you can try taking vitamin C, but also the antioxidant herbs and spices, things like rosemary and thyme and ginger have all been shown to help decrease gout. So you can add them into your diet, but you can also get them as supplements as well. Okay. So there's cherry, ginger, rosemary, thyme, vitamin C, and then some anti-inflammatory herbs like ashwagandha that can be very useful, and also cinnamon, which is often used to help lower blood sugar, but cinnamon can help in gout as well. And all these things are available in pill form as well as real food form.
Yeah, brilliant. Chris, as always, we like to finish off with a little challenge. So for someone who's suffering with gout, or someone who wants to keep gout at bay, what would be something that they could do, a step that they could immediately take after hearing you speak about this?
Well, the one thing I would concentrate on is increasing fiber. Now, the fiber, the amount of fiber that we're meant to get to be healthy in the West is at least 30 grams of fiber a day from our food, but most people only get about 15 grams. And if you go to Africa, India, you look at indigenous diets, they actually are getting more like 60 grams of fiber a day. So whatever kind of fiber you're taking, if you are prone to gout, okay, no matter what level of fiber you're at, it's going to be a good idea to double it. Okay. So you can look at eating in fruits and vegetable forms. That's the best form. Don't go down the all-bran cereal route to increase your fiber. But what you can do is you can buy fibers of different forms in supplemental form. So increase your fiber, whether it's through food or whether it's through different supplements like psyllium husks or Vita fiber. There's a whole range of different fibers that you can actually, oat bran fiber, rice bran fiber. There's a whole load of different ones that you can try to increase that fiber to make sure you're getting at least 30 grams of fiber every day.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris, for explaining gout for us today. Each week, I ask our experts to leave us with a challenge. It's just an idea. It's something that we could try. If you like it and it works for you, stick with it. If it doesn't work for you, keep looking and find something that does. I'll be taking the challenge. You can see my findings from this challenge in our challenge roundup video, which is a monthly summary covering all of the challenges our experts have shared. To get that video and all of our latest health and wellness uploads, including interviews and reviews, subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified whenever we post. And if this channel can help your friends and family, please share it with them too. If you want to get proactive with your health, Total Wellness Club are developing health quests over at questly.life. Join while we're developing the site and get access to health quests that immediately personalise your health. You'll get to identify which of 10 critical health categories need your attention. You'll be able to track your progress, and you'll be able to help us develop the platform too. I'll put a link in the description, and I'll see you in the next video.